Hi guys, today I am going to explain one of the brilliant queen sacrifice game, and this happened between Rashid Nezhmetdinov and Oleg Chernikov, and the game happened in 1962 in Soviet team championship. So the Nezhmetdinov was white and he started with e4. Chernikov replied with c5, nf3, n c6, d4, c cross d4, n cross d4, nf d4, g6, nc3, bishop g6, bishop e3, knight f3. It's all the Knight of Sicily variation, and so white goes for bishop b4 and black castled and bishop b3. So I have also done another video on the Fischer Samuel Reshevsky match where Samuel goes for the light square bishop and he played like knight a5, and he immediately got into Fischer trap like e5, and this is the Fischer trap. So the queen get trapped, and he will have to accept the knight and exchange the queen, like queen is gonna like whatever the way. So the game has to go instead of taking with the rook. If he would have captured with the king, then the game would have been gone in a different manner. So that's all in the book. So instead of knight to a5, uh, Chernikov played the other one like knight to g4 and attack the dark square bishop, just and at the same time it also create a double attack on the knight which is on the outpost, which is in the d4 outpost. So q the knight is undefended, so queen capture the knight. So the knight on c3, c6 will capture the d4 knight, and so queen h4, queen a5, just pinning the knight with the against the king. So castle king side, so unpinning. So bishop to f3, sorry, bishop to f6. So queen is attacked. So this is kind of like an option for a drop. So like if queen h6, then bishop g2. So it's kind of a repeating move. So and if queen comes to g3, then king will take the knight. It's a queen sacrifice, temporary queen sacrifice, and the fork with the king and queen. So the white pawn will be all over the place, and it will be a favorable endgame for black. So instead, like what Nezhmetdinov played is a brilliant queen sacrifice, and he he played till the end with the queen sacrifice. He captured the bishop on f6. Boom. So instead of capturing it back immediately, what Chernikov did is like he gave a check. Anyways, this knight is a goner, so he gave a check so that the the pieces are not coordinated from the white side, and then he captured back the queen. So the knight came back to c4. So e4 attacked with the rook to e8, attacking the e4 pawn once. and maybe he wanted to play his f4 or d4 pawns just to undermine that. So ignore this, and nc5, a brilliant outpost to the knight. So if he captured the rook, then it will be a fork. So the rook defended the f6 pawn. So it's been attacked one more time with the bishop on d4. Bishop move to d4 and attack it twice. Then king to g7, defending the pawn. Then rook to d1, trying for a rook lift. d6, so trying to activate his pieces quickly. So c, knight to c7 and rook to c1 are two good spots for Nezhmetdinov pieces. So instead of like rook to d3, bishop to d7, rook to f3, then bishop b5, attacking the rook. So he ignored the attack on the rook. Instead he attacked the queen back with the bishop c3. So queen goes back to d1 and protect the f7 pawn, but nevertheless, like, the knight captures the f7 pawn. So rook cannot recapture the f7 pawn because it will lead to a fork. It will lead to a fork with a rook and king. So this will be a favorable endgame for so instead like he put his bishop on the e2. This is a bad move. This is a bad move from black. Instead he would have developed his the other rook to c1 and he would have continued the game in that sense. Some other move instead of the bishop c2, bishop e2, that's not a good move at all. Then n cross h7, it's a check, and if this knight would have been taken, then it will be a check and the game will go that way. That would have been better for white in that sense, black in that sense, but instead like he went to g7, g8, so rook to h8, rook to h3, taking control on the h file, which is the open one. Rook to e5, blocking the diagonal for the bishop. So bishop won't be reaching h8, so rook cannot outpost himself on the h8 and give a checkmate. So at last Chernikov decided to give back some material and exchange for the dark square bishop with his rook. F4, challenge that rook. Bishop capture the rook, king capture the rook, rook to c8. Finally Chernikov tried to activate his rook and challenge the bishop. So Nezhmetdinov is not ready to give his beautiful bishop, so he played bishop to d4, b5, just wanted to outpost other rook to the so if white played some moves like for example this, then black will be like outposting the other rook here so that it will block uh, the other bishop as well. So instead, if b5 is played in g5, so knight and bishop eyeing on this diagonal. So c2, rook c2 and defending this particular piece. So avoiding. So if this has been not done, if this has been done, then it will be a check. If this is taken, then it will be a family fork. So they wanted to avoid, he wanted to avoid, and so what he did is like he played c2 to defend this. But now again another brilliant bishop sacrifice. So it's check. And bishop is captured. Then he played the rook sacrifice, h8, rook to h8 check, and king captured the rook. Then it will be another family fork. So g7, the knight cross, d8, then rook e4, just gabbling more pawns and attack the bishop. So knight to c3 defending, then rook captures the f4 pawn and give a check, like king to e2. So just look at the positions, like white is one pawn and one piece up, piece and an exchange up, exchange down, but the black pawn is all over the place, and white has 2 pawn island and black has 3 pawn islands. So white is clearly better here, so the black resigned. So see how brilliantly the queen sacrifice has been done and managed the game throughout the end. A brilliant queen sacrifice. Excellent game from Rashid Nezhmetdinov. Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you're watching it for the first time, please subscribe and like. I'm just doing it for my passion. So if you would like, add comments, subscribe, and I know like my voice is not that much great, but please do support and subscribe and comment. Thank you.